What up, everybody? It's your girl July from Kickback Couture, and today I'm going to show you how to use combinators. Not just the combinator, but the effects combinator, the mix channel combinator, and the master section combinator. So let's go ahead and start off with the combinator itself. So we're gonna go to utilities. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and combine this piano we have here. I'm just going to right click and select combine. I now have this in a combinator. I am then going to right click, and I have a couple options for which mixer I want to use, but I'm going to use the line 6.2 mixer. We also have the 14.2, which I will show you. This allows us to create auxes as well, but for the purposes of this, I will not do that. I will just use a 6.2. So utilities 6.2. Alright, now I'm gonna move this up, so I'm just gonna hold down shift to move it up so that it will connect so it'll be where I want it to be so that I can connect it. Just gonna disconnect this, gonna connect this here, and this will be our first input in our line 6 mixer. Let's create one more piano. Ideate, and let's go ahead and make a clang. Notice that it automatically routes for us. Instruments, reason devices, clang. Now this is a really easy way to layer instruments if we want. So if we have our combinator selected and we press a key, we are automatically triggering all three. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is pan this first piano to the left, and I'm gonna name it by double clicking on this right here. Awesome. And then same here, piano 2. Sometimes I forget you can't double click this. Very common. I'm gonna change this to a music box. Alrighty. Music box, and this is gonna be panned up to the middle, and this one I want going to the right. So now we have a nice and wide instrument. Let's go ahead and add some filtering with this mod. Alright, now this is a really basic, layered instrument, but what we can do with this combinator is beyond what we have so far. So if we show the programmer, and obviously up here we can see we have 4 knobs we can control and 4 buttons. Now in this combinator we have all of our instruments. Everything that is inside of our combinator is present here, and we can assign them. We can assign their parameters to rotaries or buttons. Okay, now with these pianos, if you look down here, you'll notice we have these little options down here: receive notes, key range, high, velocity, performance controllers, and so on. Now if we want to move where this piano triggers in terms of notes, we can. So let's go ahead and solo the first piano on the line 6 mixer. Now let's say we want these pianos to play at higher frequencies or higher notes than we're pressing. So I'm gonna solo the first piano, and here we have this transpose option. Let's go ahead and transpose it up to 5. Alright, let's keep going up. 36, so that's 3 octaves. Alright, so now we're up 3 octaves. Whereas this one, let's go ahead and bring this up 3 octaves too, by clicking on the second piano. Alright, now we have both of them up 3 octaves. I'm going to rename this piano 2 so I don't get confused later. Awesome. And then this works really well with our clang being at the frequency it is, the normal frequency. Let's go ahead and turn our filter on. Now we have a really nice instrument. Alright, so really dope. Alright, now bonus I just want to make you all aware of, just in case you didn't see the previous video, Reasonistas has a ton, literally a ton of free Combinator backdrops that you can use, and one of the ones that they have is for clang. So they also have an IDA one. So let's go ahead and get a really nice backdrop on this Combinator. Alright, so in order to change this backdrop, I'm simply going to right click and click on select backdrop. I will then navigate to the folder where I have my Combinator saved, my skin saved, and I will select which one I would like to use. Alright, this is the one I want. I'm gonna hit open, and now I have a nice backdrop on my clang, okay? So, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, cool instrument. Now, let's see what we can do with these buttons. Now let's see what we can do with the buttons and the rotaries, okay? So, we got an overall volume knob here, and we also have, we can utilize these auxes. So let's go ahead and create a reverb, okay? So let's go ahead and I'll grab a reverb that you all are fairly familiar with. Let's go with the echo, actually. The echo, and the preset that I want to use is called where is it? Preset that I want to use is Dr. Della. Alright. And we can even use, what's the other one? Dreamy Taped Voice. Oh yeah, I like that. So we're gonna leave that. Now, what we want to do is pay attention to where our sound sources are going. So, as we can see, it replaced the echo. It replaced our clang input with the echo. So now the clang is being monitored or affected by the echo, which is what we wanted, okay? So if that's not what we want, we'll just simply disconnect this, right? And then we can reconnect this, right? And then we'll put our main input here, which you can see if I hit K, I can hide the cable clutter. This is our send and this is the return. So let's go ahead and send this to the main input of the echo, and we'll send this to the main output. The main output to the return. Now we can dial in the echo separately for each individual instrument by turning this knob. And this line 6.2 mixer allows you to use one aux, whereas the other one, the 14.2, will allow you to use as many as you want. So these are here, 14.2, 6.2. Don't forget about those. You always have unlimited sends in Reason, even though the main mixer only gives you 8. So keep that in mind. Alright, let's go ahead and dial this in for the other ones. Turn it up for the music box as well. Alright, now let's say we see this is completely dry, wet, so on. So let's go ahead and route this to be automated by this fourth knob here. So we're gonna go to Dreamy Taped Voice, and here we see Rotary 4, and we're going to go to Master, dry wet balance. So when it's all the way up here, it'll be wet, and when it's all the way down, it'll be dry. So that's going to be our master dry wet for the echo. So I'm just going to name this echo amount. Alright, really simple. Let's get one of these buttons going, alright? So how about let's look and see what we have, and then we'll figure out what we want to route to the buttons. Let's go ahead and figure out something with the piano, and you can be really experimental with this. Right now I don't have anything in mind. I'm just making an instrument, okay? So button, we got these parameters, we got volume as well. So parameter 1, let's see what parameter 1 will do on button 1 by clicking it. Okay, it looks like it turns up our delay on the first piano, and we can solo that to hear it. Whoops, not mute. So I like that. So let's go ahead and make sure button 1 does that for both pianos. If I can click today, parameter 1, and turn this soloed as well. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and get button 2 working on this chorus right here. Let's name this first to piano delay. And then button 2, back up to piano 1. Let's make this parameter 2. And then piano 2. We'll make this parameter 2. Alright, cool. And by pressing this button, we'll turn on the chorus. And you can always decrease the maximum if you don't want it to be as transforming to your patch when you press the button. So I'll bring that down to 97 on both. And name this course. Alright, so now we're utilizing 2 buttons and 1 rotary on our combinator. Let's figure out what else we can do. We can easily get the level on both of them. So let's route rotary 1 to the level of both of our pianos. Rotary 1, piano volume. Rotary 1, piano volume for piano 2. Now as we turn this up, you'll see the buttons moving. And we'll put piano volume. Simple enough, right? Let's go ahead and have this automate the piano filter, which is this mod here. For piano 1, we are going to change this to mod wheel, and for piano 2, we will do the same thing, mod wheel. Now watch this. Very simple, right? Alright, awesome. We got 2 buttons left and a rotary left. Keep in mind you can create more instruments, so why don't we create another instrument? Let's go with, that's an effect. Let's go with Retron by G4 Software. Flip to the back, make sure that it routed itself correctly, and it did. So let's pick a preset that we'd like to use for this. Let's go with War Hero and solo it. And I like that. Let's go ahead and edit some of the settings so that it doesn't last as long. We have a French horn and a viola being used, in which we can easily change it to something else if we want to. So let's go with a flute here. And let's change this to Glocks and Bells. Really cool. We have this half speed here. Let's turn that off. Alright, let's go with something else for this one as well. Celeste. And this fits the style and the mood of our instrument that we're creating already. Let's go ahead and turn down the decay on the glocks and bells. Let's mute the Celeste for a second. Bring down the attack. Alright, nice there. And let's mute this bottom one. And I like that. So we're good with this instrument. We'll just simply dial it in level wise. And let's go ahead and also turn down this release just a bit and bring down the sustain for bell curvature. Alright. Solo this. We're not hearing it anymore. Let's bring up the decay. Oh, this is still muted. That is my bad. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and put this on. Let's put this volume on this third rotary here. And then let's be able to turn that on and off by button 3. So this is Retron, which we'll rename over here as Retron. Or we can simply put the names of the instruments, so we could put Celeste Glock. And that's what it'll show up as here on the line 6-2 mixer. So here, Celeste Glock. Let's go ahead and map our master volume to rotary 3. Master volume. Celeste Glock volume. Alright, look at that. Now watch this. We should also map this one to it as well, which is right here. So since they are the same thing, just so that we know what we're doing. So be sure to double check anything like that. If you're using pretty much the same parameters, just have them do the same thing, or at least the latest. It's like the signal chain, so the latest in the signal chain should also affect the parameter that you want to modulate with the combinators, rotaries, or buttons. So line mixer, we're going to go with rotary 3, and we want that to control level 4. So now both of them will change. And let's have button 3 and 4 turn on and off the Celeste for button 3, and the 4 be the Glock. So we'll route that to the mute. So Celeste Glock, button 3. We're going with, where are we going? Control, performance, tape. So level A, let's go with level A. Nope, that's for tape. Amplitude, there we go. Nope, not amplitude. Let's go down and see what we're looking to control. Yeah, so it will be called tape. You always have to double check and see what means what inside of your instruments. So we're on button 3 and we're going to do tape, level A or you can do mute A as well. So we'll go with level A. And then for this one will be tape level B. Now let's mute this or solo it for a second and see what happens when we turn this button on, and make sure that when this button is lit up, the sound is on, and when it's off, the sound is not sounding. So that is correct. If, however, when the button was not lit and it was still playing, we would have to switch it so that this would be 100 for the minimum and this would be 0 for the max. Same here. Now we hear nothing. So let's go ahead and name these. The first one was the Celeste. So we'll put Celeste on. And this one we'll put Glock on. And I will make these patches available to you all for free in the description. Whoops. Keep forgetting I don't have anything programmed. Let's go ahead and turn these down. And unsolo this. So you can have fun with that. This is a really nice patch. Alright. Easy way to layer instruments and create something new out of sounds that you use all the time. Remember, you can also put VSTs in here. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and save this patch. Now keep in mind, I know a lot of you may not have this Celeste Glock. So when you load this Combinator, it'll say that you have a missing device. So if you don't have it, I would challenge you to add a new device and practice using the Combinator and make something else, put something in place of that Retron and create your own Combinator. Alright, so let's move on to an effects Combinator. On second thought, I think it would be best to get straight into the mixed channel Combinator first, which is here. It looks really similar to this Combinator in that it has 4 rotaries and 4 buttons. It also looks really similar in that it looks very much like the master section Combinator, which is here. If you click on show programmer, only difference is this is the master section and this is a mixed channel. Alright, so let's get some inserts going on this for our instrument. I'm gonna drag in a MIDI clip from my Drenched by Design MIDI kit, and it will go right here. And keep in mind, we can also put sends here as well as inserts. So let's go. I don't really have a particular goal. That's the beauty of making patches, so we can experiment. So let's go ahead and find some effects we'd like to put in there. Let's go with Scream. We can add another reverb if we want to. We can go with MK2 reverb. Let's go with some stuff that you all have so that you can utilize these patches as well. Let's go with a synchronous. And let's stop there. Alright, now I'm going to turn these off. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Gonna bypass those, and now we have our Scream, and I'm going to hit play and let's hear what it sounds like with our Scream, and we'll change our settings to whatever we like them to be. Let's put this on tape. Try tube. I like tape. Turn down the damage control. Bring up the speed. This is compression. We can cut things out. So high frequency, we could bring it down. Body. Resonance up. Scale. Auto. We got body type. Let's go with this one. Gonna hold down shift to get more, what's the word? Surgical numbers. Precise. Alright, I like this. So, let's go ahead and save this patch. And we're going to go out of this and we will save this in a new folder called Scream. Keep in mind you don't have to go through the process of saving each individual patch. If this is going to be on your computer, I simply am doing this so that you all have all the patches that I'm using. Scream, let's call this call it ambience. It's more like distortion, but it's all good, you know. Alright, cool. And I realized I actually would like to move the reverb to the end of the chain. Let's hold down shift, and grab the reverb, and we see that it will auto reconnect and it'll just move without us having to reconnect. Let's turn on synchronous and let's get some filtering going with this. Low pass is great. And we can dial in some modulation. Hopefully yours looks a lot better than mine. Let's make it lower than that. We can even dial in some reverb here. Just a little bit. Maybe some distortion. Lo-fi distortion. And rather than doing another reverb, I actually want to use a filter. So let's go grab a filter from our Reason devices, and we can either grab the M-class equalizer, or we can grab the, envelope controlled filter. I'm going to go with this one. And I'm going to put it on a low pass 24. Alright, with these three devices, we have enough material to be able to program our buttons. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with the Scream. I would like to, of course, be able to turn this on and off. So here, we called this ambience, so I will call it, I'm going to use this button here and we'll call it Scream Distortion. And then I'll go back and save these patches because I forgot. So let's just put ambience, because that's what the patch is called. And here and here it's called ambience. Let's go ahead and go to button 1 and we will go to enabled, and that should do what we want it to do. So when this is on, the light is on, it's bypassed. And then when we let go, it's off. So that's a problem. So let's go ahead and fix that. When the light is on, we need the scream to be on. So let's see what it does at 2. And let's bring this down, the maximum down to 1. This mouse. Alrighty. So now when the light is on, our synchronous is on, and when it is off, it is bypassed. I mean, not synchronous, our scream. So we're good with that. We'll turn that off for now. Let's also route the damage control to rotary 1. Damage amount. We're still in the right patch. Rotary 1. Damage control. Alright. Whoops. And we're golden with that. Alright, now for button 2, I would like to turn this filter on and off on the synchronous. So let's navigate to synchronous, button 2, filter on, and see what happens. With the light on, it is on, so we're great. And we'll call this filter loop because it is automating it. So when we turn this on, nice. And then we can go ahead and put the filter frequency on this rotary. Filter freak. Alrighty, and that is rotary 2. Where am I looking? What am I looking for? Filter frequency. Perfect. Now we can see them moving together. And we're golden on that. Now let's figure out what we would like to do for button 3. You do not have to do all of these. Just a FYI. If you don't want to, you can simply just delete it and leave it blank. Okay, so remember that. Let's go ahead and route this to turn on and off synchronous so that we don't have to have it on for the entire time. So this is distortion, reverb, and our filter. So we'll just call it synchronous on or sync on. And this is your patch, so hopefully you know what it does. Bag, we're still on the synchronous, awesome. Rotary 3, let's go ahead and put rotary 3 to enabled. And let's see what happens when it is on. We have it bypassed, so let's switch that to bypass and on. There we go. So when it is lit up, we have synchronous on. When it is off, we have it bypassed. And we don't want it off because that will stop the signal and our sound completely. Now, rotary 3, I will link to the dry wet of the sync. So I'll put sync amount here. Rotary 4. Nope, that is rotary 3. Okay, so we'll change this to, okay, we have rotary 3 here. If we needed more, we can easily select the drop down and change what we're inputting as the source. So rotary 3 will be our dry wet. So we're looking for this dry wet. So at 0, it's at 0. At 100, it's at 100. Awesome. And then rotary 4. Let's move the filter frequency on this envelope controlled filter. And this is the final filter. So for up here, I'll put filter loop frequency so that we know the difference. And yeah, we'll leave that. And then here we'll put filter frequency again. and we'll navigate to our filter, and that is rotary 4. So we're gonna go with frequency, and that now controls that. And let's go ahead and put this button on filter, button 4. Call it filter on. Button 4 will now control our filter. Wait, what was I trying to do? Button 4. Oh, enabled. And let's make sure this is doing what it's supposed to do. So we notice that when this is on, it's bypassed. So again, we need to change that. 2. This will be 1 instead of 0, so that is not off. So when it's on, it's on. When this isn't lit up, it's bypassed. So we are golden. Let's turn on that filter. This is our damage ambience. We'll turn down the amount. Filter frequency loop. We'll turn this up, and we also need to turn the synchronous on. Alright, so now we have our little mix channel patch. And you can easily, like I said before, put as many inserts, well, not as many, you can do as many, but you only have 4 buttons and 4 rotaries. So you can easily do inserts and sends here. So we're going to save these individual patches so that you can access these files. Mix channel combi, create, and save. Alright, cool, I have that saved. Now, keep in mind, we can also use this as an effects combinator. So if I would like to, I'll come inside of this folder here, and I can drag this underneath my regular combinator, and I will get a combinator with the exact same settings as what I used up here. So this mix channel combinator dubs as an effects combinator. So always remember that. And the way to tell the difference between which one is which is very simple. So let's go ahead and make this longer. We'll hide the devices, and let's go ahead and remove the backdrop for a second. Remove. Now, in order to tell which one is an effects combinator is very simple. When you drag it in, if it's an effects combinator, it will only let you add it in a certain place. It won't let you replace something that is an effects combinator. So I can't replace this bell with this life effects combinator because it's an effect combinator. Whereas I can easily drag this over the top of this. Very easily and simply. Okay, now the bell, because I put a backdrop on it, if I go to combi patches, combinator, our backdrop will be saved inside of our patch as well. So we're golden. So basically, we just covered the effects combinator, the instrument combinator, and the mix channel combinator, which is the same as the effects combinator. Now, if we go up to the master combinator, it is essentially the same as the mix channel and effects combinator. It looks the exact same. Only difference is you would be saving your mastering stuff inside of this, and you would be using your buttons to control that. So like here, all I have is this mono button, whereas if it's on, it goes to mono, and if it's off, it goes to original. That's all I have here. And this also controls what's up here. It is also the same as what's here in our master inserts on the mixer. So it correlates to that directly. So if you like this video, give it a like, comment down below, subscribe. Most definitely let me know what you would like to see next. Check out the free kits page. There is tons of new stuff there. Actually, yeah, there's tons of new stuff there. It just depends on how you look at it. This time I have Thor patches and some subtractor patches, Maelstrom as well. So go check that out. Kick back and cook up. It's all culture.